What's going on, everybody? Come in, have a seat in the briefing room. You are in for another episode of the Husker Army podcast, RecoN. I'm your host, Bryan Knutzen, and for this week, to preview Purdue for RecoN, we got former Husker offensive lineman, Mr. Dan Waldrop. Dan, how you doing, man? It's been a while.
It has been a long time, but I'm back.
That's right. And very excited.
How many times have I been on? Is this my fourth?
It's got to be your fourth. You've been on here more than anybody. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's a joy, man. I always love coming back here.
Exactly. And we love having you, dude.
You got this.
If it wasn't good conversation, we wouldn't ask you to come back.
Exactly. I can hold a conversation.
You got that right. I mean, hell, we were talking for like a half hour before we even started.
Yes.
So over almost nothing. Almost nothing. Just catching up.
Yeah. It's been a year, so,
It's been all right so far. All right, everybody, real quick. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. All right, really helps us out. It helps with the algorithm. Leave us a comment, too. We'll get back to you right away. I always check it out and make sure I'm not missing anything. And then, of course, all the audio-only platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, I think Prime or Amazon Podcasts, whatever the hell that's called. You'll find us on there as well. So give us a subscribe on there. Leave us a comment. I'll find it. I'll hit you back. And so like and subscribe on YouTube. Just Google Husker Army Podcast. Easy to find.
Subscribe button.
Woo! Gotta love that subscribe button. Gotta love it. And then, of course, gotta let you know real quick, the merch. Go to HurrdatSports.com. Click on that pop-down window or icon for merch, whichever it is, and you'll find the Husker Army Podcast merch. You'll see there. We got the shirts. Those are not the only colors and design you can get as well. Same with the dad hat, trucker hat, the beanies, stainless steel tumblers, and then, of course, you got the coffee mugs. So if you get the chance, like I said, HurrdatSports.com. Go check it out. Find some Husker Army merch. Become enlisted. Send us a pic, tag us in a picture with the merch, no matter what it is. Make you your own personal enlisted graphic. We'll get you in there. So it'll look kind of like this because of our guest today. The man's always been enlisted, but I got to show it all the time. We got Dan enlisted, and man, we talked about that hair.
I love that hair.
It was impeccable. It is on point. I mean, my God, dude, that's styling.
That's the suave 99-cent bottle of shampoo and the 99-cent bottle of conditioner.
It's styling, dude. It's looking good. I dug it. And like I said, it's one of the few pictures I can find of you wearing your actual home red jersey, and we could see your face. So I was like, I'm using that.
I'm disappearing into the ether.
Dude, you're not the only one. I ain't going to lie. It was kind of hard to find an exact picture that I wanted to use that was decent enough of Adam Carricker last week. That was kind of a pain.
That's crazy because he's more out there than I am for sure.
Yeah, I think I ended up pulling one off of, I think it was just a snapshot he had from Carricker Chronicles, and I just used that. I was like, oh, crap. It's horrible. All right, so Dan, we got you here. We're going to preview Purdue here in a moment. But, of course, as always, I want to get your thoughts on what you think, how the offense is looking this year so far. They're 3-1. Disappointing loss to Illinois last week in overtime, 31-24. Should not have gone into overtime. We had the missed field goal, just a tad bit off target end zone pass from Raiola. Oh, it could have changed the entire game. It wouldn't even have gone to overtime.
Right.
So sitting at 3-1, my opinion, I've got to say I've been at least somewhat impressed with the offensive line play so far this year compared to last year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen them be able to sustain the pocket for Raiola. They have had some breakdowns, but it's not one or two every single drive. So, I mean, that's nice. They've been opening some holes for the running backs, really minus this last game. Illinois really had a hell of a defensive scheme put in, I think. So,
Big
What
play
are your
is always gonna
thoughts?
be different.
Yeah, with the offense, I mean, especially the offensive line, what are your thoughts on them this year so far?
They look a lot better than last year. I think they look a lot more mature and they're playing harder. I like to see that. Like I'm seeing a lot more effort downfield, and I'm seeing a lot more effort on the pass blocking side too. Not just giving up, and they're fighting more than usual, and that's a good thing because I think with a new quarterback, you got to keep him healthy, and they probably get a talking to also. It's like if he gets touched or he gets hurt, that's you. You're gonna go to the back of that line. I'm gonna put somebody else in. Like to be honest, with a new quarterback coming in, I would you got to risk it all to protect him.
Yeah, you got the quarterback's uncle as your coach, so
And then you got Dom, and Dom was scary in college. So
yeah, I've heard a couple stories about Dom, and yeah, he was wired a tad bit different in college.
I think,
It seems like he's calmed down more now.
yeah, you get older, you're like, that's not for me anymore. But I thought he was always a joy to be a part of, to watch. He was super funny, and he was serious about practice and getting things done, and then he did it on the field. It was always great to watch him, and he was a really big inspiration to continue behind them, because that's what we were trying to do, is that culture of the offensive lineman kept moving forward. Somewhere it got lost, and I was talking about that the other day, but I think with time and more offensive linemen that are coming that understand the rich tradition of the pipeline, we'll get back on track.
Yeah, I agree, especially about Dominic. I mean, look, I will put him up there with guys like Aaron Graham.
Yeah.
So to me, he was a true Nebraska center.
Mm-hmm.
He could snap that ball. He could pull right. He was so quick.
Yeah,
he was able to pull right after a snap and never screw up the snap.
You know how difficult that is?
I can't even imagine trying it.
Right, because your brain is like, as soon as I snap, I need to pull, but like to have the ability to snap and pull, it's a feat to its own, because your body mechanics, of course, the arms would go a different way. He just had it down. He was good at what he did. He was great.
Yeah, it didn't matter. He could pull left or right, and you'd think one or the other would be tougher, no matter, because you're snapping with one of them. So I don't know. Maybe if you're snapping toward or pulling towards your snapping arm, I don't know which one would be tougher, going toward or away. But
no clue.
The fact that he could do both without it looking hard or difficult whatsoever, that's Aaron Graham like for me. So
I got lots of respect for the whole O-line. When I was there, I was involved in all positions other than the center, and there's no way I'm touching that center position. Ain't no way.
Definitely not for Dan. Dan enjoyed the guard, the tackle.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, they had you rotating a little bit in one of those bowl games.
Well, they had me rotating all season. I was left guard, right guard. I did a little bit of left tackle, but I just felt awkward on that side. And then, as you know, ended up in the right side. But left guard was fun. But I wasn't going to start over to new and left guard.
Okay.
It's the way it is. Like, if I'm better meant to be pulling on the backside or something like that with him there, it's fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I think the offensive line is getting better. Like I said earlier, I was like shocked at the beginning of the season. I was like, Ben Hart's still there. I was like, that dude was third string when I was playing. And so I see he's putting a lot more effort in that position. I'm critical of him because that was my position, and it is what it is. Like I'll sit there and judge him harsher than everybody else, especially since he's been there for so long. And he had 40-something starts. I'm more critical of him than anything. And it's just between me and myself, and just watching him. But he's gotten a lot better. He's a little bit more aggressive. I'm liking his play a lot more. But to me, I've been really enjoying our receivers.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to say that's not what you guys did back in your day, but getting to see it now, and Raiola spreads it around every game. He doesn't have a favorite target yet.
No. And I think it could have been Fedoni, but these receivers are super athletic, And that
Yes.
catch in the end zone that basically Raiola threw up a prayer, and it was in that corner.
Yes.
Man, that kid, I was like, this is exciting. Watching these guys are exciting. I've never been as excited for a receiver core than these guys. They are having fun. And as long as we can protect Raiola and give him the time, I think even when Raiola's hurried, he seems to be a little bit more dangerous because he's still got his eyes down the field. Right?
Yes.
Now, the last play where it was like a 5-on-6, he can't do nothing about it, right? That's a check down or something like that.
That drive in overtime could just be forgotten about.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
3rd and 42. What?
Yeah.
I've never even seen that on us ever in my lifetime.
Hey, we're breaking records, man.
Hey, why not? That 3-9 team we had some years ago ends up going down in history as the greatest 3-9 team ever in college football. How do you outscore your opponents but lose 9 games?
I don't know
how
it works.
How is that even possible?
It's beyond me. It's the math I don't want to do.
No, I've been out of school long enough. I'm done with math. I don't know. Nope. I got enough. I had to do it for my job.
Yeah, I got a phone that does that.
Exactly. I'll just type it in. It'll figure it out.
Yeah, you don't even have to type it in anymore. AI will do it for you and just tell it to.
That's very true. I have a lot of fun with that AI. I really do. But yeah, I've got to admit, I agree with you there. The offensive line play has looked so much better this year. They look like an actual unit. They look like they're working together. Like you said, Bryce Benhart, good Lord, that guy's like, I think he's 6'7" or 6'8", something like that. Yeah. And he can move almost like Dominic Raiola used to. That quick step. It's just, against Illinois, there were times that protection just broke down. And it seemed like it broke down on plays where they knew where the pressure was coming from. That's, I think, what was worrying me a tad bit. It's almost like they either got confused or they didn't believe it was coming. Now, with you guys and Coach Tenneper, if you guys see a blitz coming, whether they're just giving you window dressing or not, you guys prepared for that.
I knew it was coming. When we would play Colorado, we would get drilled all week, and then Coach would test us. I don't know if they get tested at the end. They probably do.
Well, I'm sure now.
We get paper tests, and we draw, and then he would, tell us what to do and stuff like 41 base, okay, against this defense. And you already know it at the end of the week because it's been drilled in your head. Like we would play Colorado, and they would have this buff blitz, right? And the buff blitz would be a guy. The defensive tackle was head up, 5 technique, and then I had an outside wide 9, and then I had a linebacker over the top. And then I knew those two were slanting, and that the linebacker was mine. I automatically knew. I go, there. It was at home. We were playing Colorado. I'm like, this is going far because it's coming. And then I called it. I called Buff. Lets the guard know. Lets the center know. These 2 guys are yours. Took 1 step. Those dudes slanted across my face. And here's the linebacker sitting right there. I was like, you're mine. And then Eric is gone. It's amazing how prepared you were. I could see when my senior year, I could see blitzes on the backside, and I know what call was already happening on the backside. I was like, I already know what's going on over there. So we already know that protection's going that way, and that means somebody's on my front side. I'm one-on-one with a defensive end here. It's stuff like that. It was cool to grow in Nebraska because my biggest problem when I was there is understanding the playbook when I first got there.
I bet.
That was so hard for me. And the hardest part was the school I played at was, 0 hole, 2, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah.
The right, and then 1, 3.
On the left side. Yeah. You got your odd numbers.
No. It went 1 to 9, right to left.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Even numbers should be on the right, odd numbers on your left.
It was so my brain when I first got, I guess it would be like newbie camp, like rookie camp when we came in. And then there were like 12 or 11 base. So my brain, or 41 sprint. my brain was like, oh, go left. So we'd be running into each other and stuff like that because I would go left because
Yeah.
my brain was just conditioned to do that. So I stuck my head into that playbook and I would draw out what I'm supposed to do over time. It just becomes easier and easier. The best way to build that muscle, that brain part, is to fail and do it over and over again. If you're too scared to do it, then you shouldn't even play the game. But understanding that 1 through 9, and then at my senior year they switched it to like normal, and I was like, oh, here we go. But by then we were good.
Now, what was the reasoning for doing it ass backwards like that then?
Because we were an option team, I guess.
I get that.
Yeah. So 11 base would go right. And
Oh my God.
And 19 base would go left. Yeah. Yep.
Dude, you literally, I think you just scrambled my brain.
32 option would be on the right side. 38 option was on the left side.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That would have messed with me. Yeah, they teach you even in Pee Wee football. Like you said, 0, 2, 4, 6. You got your right side. Then you got 1, 3, 5, 7. That's your left.
41 sprint would go right.
Oh my God.
39 sprint would go left. Yeah.
Okay, now the first number's still for the back, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank God.
Yeah.
So give me an example. Like, what would have been the base call for just an option right?
So 11 base, 41 sprint, 32 option, and there was a couple more option, 32 option pass, 11 base pass. So 32 option, I'm blocking down on the defensive tackle in the 3 position.
Okay.
And then 11 base, I usually it was weird. 11 base would have a tight end or no tight end, right? So we would come out in different formations, knowing that if I had a man on me and a man outside me, the man on me was mine on that. Now, if he's headed towards the guard, I could let him go and get up to the second level. If he was head up on the tight end on 11 base, we would work together, double teaming to the middle linebacker or the front side linebacker if they were running 4-3. But those are 11, 32, and 41 sprint. And then there's a bunch of different like 34 quarterback keep was on my side, and then 38 was on the left side. It was nuts. Like, I'm trying to go back through all the plays and stuff like that. Yeah,
I know. I'm watching that new Aaron Hernandez show on Hulu.
Is it good?
Yes, it is. And there's some things about that man I don't think a lot of people knew, like personally knew.
That Florida team did.
No, this was something he really obviously kept to himself, and maybe 1 or 2 people knew about it.
I might have to check it out. I'm just not a big fan of watching the downfall of people, but that's just typically me.
Let's just say his big secret was, he was more of a fan of men than women.
Yeah. Kind of like Diddy.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. Maybe not quite to the extreme.
We just had a pop culture reference.
Yes, of today's pop culture, folks.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know, please Google it. You're going to be intrigued.
Yeah.
Oh, good. We could spend numerous minutes talking about that.
That's off-season stuff.
Yeah, I don't think Hurrdat would. I don't know if Hurrdat would let us put that one out. I said that might be one that just hits the archive and never sees the light of day.
Yeah, when our time's over, it's open up in the time capsule and everybody's gonna watch it.
Oh God, that'd be hilarious. People would be like, "What was going on in 2024?" Everything
at the same time.
Take a look at our pop culture, our politics, just our nation in general. Good. Have fun.
Yeah, what a crazy time to be alive. Look at us.
That is the truth, dude. Absolutely no lie in there
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I'm enjoying it though. I'm here for it.
We all are. And hey, like we said, Nebraska's 3-1 right now. It's our
Yep.
best start since 2016.
Is it?
Yeah, that's crazy to think about, isn't it? We hadn't even been 3-0 since 2016.
Who was the quarterback in
That
2016?
would have been Tommy Armstrong.
Yeah, I like Tommy.
That was Riley's second year, and that was the year they went. I think they ended up like 7 or 8-0, and then they ended up playing Ohio State, lost that one. We ended up like 8 or 9-3 or 8-4, maybe something like that.
Did we play Michigan that year at the bowl game?
I think we played Tennessee.
Tennessee.
And they had that quarterback that looked like he was a love child of a human and E.T.
Yes. I forgot his name, but I know who you're talking about. So
Yep.
Speaking of bowl game, when's the last time we've been to a bowl game?
That one.
Okay. That's good times. It's almost 10 years. We're coming up on 10 years almost.
Yes.
Getting close. It's not going to happen this year. We're going.
Oh, we are going. And like we said before we started recording, all goals are still in plain sight.
Yeah.
One loss is not going to derail. If anything, it could strengthen. These guys could come out like we always hoped they did in the 90s when you guys rarely lost a game. You come out with your hair on fire that next week because you're just utterly pissed off.
Yep.
And you've gotten your asses chewed and ran all week in practice, and you want to take it out on somebody other than your own teammates.
After we lost to Texas, they took it out on us.
Had to bring that up, didn't
My
you?
freshman year, we're the last Big 12 team, by the way. My freshman year, we lost to Texas, and that scout team week was rough.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, is it game time every day? I was like, man, I can't wait to get to Friday. I was clocking in at work. I was like, okay, here we go.
But that's what it was for you guys back then. It may have been work, but did you guys ever really look at it that way?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, got that brutal?
Yeah. Well, just over time. Like, I'm going to give you an example. My nephew was like, it's not all sunshines and rainbows because he wrestles in college. I go, hold on. I played D1 college football. Do you think I was having the time of my life every time?
In the trenches?
Do you think I was like high-fiving around? No, I was exhausted. I was tired. I was failing classes. My first semester there, I got put on academic probation. I almost lost my scholarship the first year.
Oh, damn.
Lazy. And I didn't care. It was a weird sense of like, it's not that I didn't care. It's like I didn't try, right?
You're a freshman. Everything was new.
Yeah.
Trying to take everything in.
So I was more worried about like, we did a buffet every day. Let's go.
Oh.
So I was trying to tell him, it's like, it's not all sunshines and rainbows, and you should still stick it out. Stop being weak-minded in the sense of, oh, I got to give up because it's hard. If I would have gave up, I would have probably gave up when I first got to camp. But there's no options when we were younger. There's no option to give up. It's either you play in Nebraska or you go home and sit on the couch and let everybody talk to you about how you were good in high school and then you burned out, or you just couldn't handle it. It's like, there's no way I was going to give up in Nebraska. I don't care if I was never going to play or the way it played out in the way it played out for me. But when you have those people in place like Tenneper and Coach Young and Coach Solich and all the other coaching staff, when you have those people there, you're not going to give up on them, and you're not going to give up on your teammates either.
No.
Yeah.
And like you said, you weren't going to give up because if you think about it, the way the walk-on program was back then, you had guys that would crawl through broken glass as a walk-on to take your spot if you're not going to give it your all.
Yeah, and because these guys bled Nebraska football. I learned the history of Nebraska football from my walk-on friends from Nebraska, from all Nebraska fans. I learned it. I knew nothing about Nebraska. I
couldn't have learned it from anyone better.
I was when they played in the Holiday Bowl in '99. I was rooting for Arizona when I was in high school because I didn't even know who Nebraska was. Nebraska came so late in my my recruiting time. The only reason they got me was Coach. I think I told you the story before.
Oh, I'm sure, but we got new viewers and everything now.
Coach Solis said, "We're gonna give you a scholarship. There's no guarantee you'll ever see the field." I was like, "Sign me up."
Damn.
Every other college, Fresno State, Oregon, Arizona State, Texas A&M, all those guys were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna start." Because Solis said, "You might never touch the field." I go, "Sign me up." He goes, "We win, and we have a winning tradition, but you might never touch the field." I go, "Say no more."
Sold American.
This is the place I need to be. I need to be in the middle of America, away from Southern California, away from all these distractions. I need to be here, and I want to win. And I got my career. I got exactly what I wanted. It couldn't have been any better. 5 bowl games, 1 national championship game. Wish we didn't won it. With the 2 BCS, come on, no better.
That Miami team was a buzzsaw. They were shocked, full of such NFL talent. It wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny, but not when it happened to us.
No, but I got that experience. Not many people do.
Yeah. All right. Before we spend, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes talking about the Purdue preview here. I mean, what was I going to say here? Oh, good Lord. I had it right on the tip of my tongue. I had it, and you know what? Now I can't freaking remember it. Good Lord. This is the tragedy of getting old.
I get a notepad out.
That's the sad part. I got one right here in front of me. And as I was thinking about it, I could have jotted it down. But no, in just that little 30 seconds.
That's where we're at now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It ain't CTE, folks. Trust me. I didn't get hit in the head that many times.
I did.
I'm good. Now I remember. Okay. So you said Nebraska came in late in the recruiting process. Where were you leaning before then?
Colorado.
Oh, my God.
You remember that,
Kenny.
Right?
You and Kenny. What is wrong with you guys?
No. Neuheisel is a very good recruiter.
Is he really?
He is a very good recruiter.
And is he a fair recruiter?
No, because I got caught up in the scandal because he recruited me from Washington during the dead period. So he got in trouble. And then Washington State was telling people that I was a bad recruit because, you know what? When I was young, I'm the first D1 player in my family. I didn't know what committing meant to anything. Like, I was like, yeah, I'll go there. Yeah, I'll go there. Stuff like that. I was just telling everybody, yeah, I'll go to Fresno State because I wanted that opportunity, right?
Of course.
So, like, I forgot who the coach was at Washington State. He did not like me for that. But Coach Neuheisel came to my house, or he called me. I'm trying to remember. Don't quote me fully on that. He recruited me on that dead period before signing day when he went to Washington. And so I was in Colorado. He got fired or something like that. He went to Washington. He was going to take me there. And I wanted – the schools I wanted to go to were USC, UCLA, or Cal, but none of them recruited me. To Hackett, was it Bob Toledo?
You're gonna tell me that even Cal didn't even try coming after you?
No, they Hackett and Toledo said I was too small to play on the line. I was like, and then I had because all my friends were there. All the people that was on the California, Texas teams. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to like UCLA, and I was the only one going to Nebraska. And they're like, oh man, y'all are sorry. And then my career turned out way better than theirs ever did.
Pretty damn good, I would say.
It's like I show you guys.
I'd say you did all right for yourself here.
Yeah, none of those guys stepped on the national championship field. It's like,
when was your senior year?
03. So senior year we went 10-2. And we played in the 10-3 because we
10-3.
Missouri did that fake field goal and got us.
My God, that's right.
I think we were pretty good that year. Demario Williams was leading our defense.
Super Demario.
Yeah,
man,
I love that.
That was a good defense.
Yeah, with the Bullets brothers at safety, I think Ricketts was playing corner somewhere on one side, and then
Oh, God.
I forgot the other one. Philip Bland, but he got hurt. We had Rude at the middle linebacker, and then with TJ, we were pretty good. Now that I put that together, I was like, man, we were doing well. We only lost 3 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious to think about now.
And it makes me still mad that we lost those 3 games.
Exactly. 3 games. And by a fan base perspective, that was a down season.
Yeah.
Look where the hell we're at now.
That's what you get.
And that's what I like, though. I like the way this season has gone so far, because after that loss to Illinois, I didn't hear all the chatter about it being another 1-score loss. All I heard the chatter about was we lost. Yeah. We should have won, but we lost. There was nothing else.
We need to close people out.
Exactly. The fan base is finally coming back and realizing a loss is a loss.
Yeah.
But it's not the same loss that we keep seeing year after year for like the last 8 years.
Yeah, you didn't see quitting.
Exactly. Thank you. It just feels different.
Yeah, there was a couple mistakes at the end of the overtime.
Oh, absolutely. 3rd and 42.
That was mistakes. That was our own fault. If we can learn from that, we'll win those games. Like, I think second half is where we're busting things up. We're kind of cruising. It's like, no, you got to step on their necks more.
Yes.
Yeah. Second half, you should be coming out. I was like, oh, here we go.
Like it's the first quarter.
Yeah.
Score 0-0. You need points.
That's the idea when you step out. It's like nobody's winning or losing. We're going to win this second half too. I think if we can improve on shutting down teams in the second half and driving down the ball and scoring on the first drive, just to send a message. Yeah.
Great segue, Dan. That's kind of what we're looking for in this Purdue game. I mean, you brought it up. Their offense is ranked, 132nd out of 134.
Mm-hmm.
The defense last week before the Illinois game for us, they were ranked 23rd. I believe you said they dropped to 31. But we're looking at an offense that in their very first game against Indiana State and Purdue, they won, I believe it was 49-0. Their quarterback goes 24 of 25. Damn near perfect on that. You'd never hear about that.
25 passes?
Yes, and he completes 24 of them. And I want to say the one miss he had, I think, was a drop. So he should have been perfect on the day.
Yeah, we can celebrate that for sure.
Absolutely. You never would have seen that out of any. You didn't see that out of Drew Brees at Purdue.
Mm-mm. I told you there.
Exactly. That was when Purdue was pretty damn good.
Yeah. Did Mike Allstott go to Purdue too?
I think so.
Yeah.
If not, I'm going to get crucified and told, corrections in all the YouTube comments, so I can't wait for that one.
Actually, he played
Shit. Yeah. They'll make sure they correct me, so I don't mind.
It's all good.
And then, okay, so they win their first game of the season, 49-0. They get a shutout over Indiana State. There was a lot of buzz around Purdue after their first game, and there should have been. Like you said, the quarterback going 24 of 25, that's a headline right there. That's just not something you normally see in any level of football. So, and then they come out the next week at home again. Notre Dame coming into Purdue, coming off that loss to, I can't remember who it was. I'm pretty sure an FCS team.
Appalachian or something.
It was somebody like that, yes. And it was in South Bend. So it's not like they went on the road and just got caught with their pants down. But they come into Purdue the week after that, and they win, I think it was like 66-7. Put just a straight shellacking on Purdue. And a lot of people favored Purdue to win that game. And then the week after, losing 38-21 at Oregon State.
Yep.
Now, Oregon State isn't your grandfather's Oregon State anymore. Mm-hmm. They can win some games. I mean, they're 3-1 right now. Oregon State has been coming up the last 2-3 seasons. They've been really opening eyes. Their coaching staff has done great. They've gotten good recruits. They've learned how to use their talent where it's absolutely needed. Oregon State's a real threat anymore. You cannot pick them as an automatic win.
Nope.
Especially if you're a powerhouse team, and Oregon knows that more than anybody.
Well, that's their only loss this year is against Oregon.
Exactly, and like we said, it was so weird
to
see that this early in the season, the Civil War happening second week of the season.
Yeah.
Come on. That's not where that's supposed to be.
That's not supposed to be anywhere.
Stop the realignments, for God's sake. You're messing with some really good rivalries here.
I agree. I mean, they messed with our rivalry with Colorado. Look how much more exciting Colorado versus Nebraska games are as opposed to Nebraska and Iowa. Look how much more exciting they are.
Yeah, because to me, there's just that much more hatred toward Colorado than Iowa.
Put Colorado in the Big Ten, man, and give us our game. Give me that game again.
Why not make it either a yearly thing or an every other year thing where they are just a permanent non-conference stamp in the schedule?
Yeah.
Why not? What's wrong with that?
I mean, look, there's still the Red River Shootout. Oklahoma.
They can't call it the shootout anymore because of PR crap, and it's now the Red River rivalry.
You're
going to twist your tongue on trying to say.
They still get their rival, but like Colorado is so much more exciting, especially with Prime being there and all the antics they got going up on there. But man, the two opposite coaches, Rule and how he manages the team and how Prime manages the team, that's prime for like. Look, it was a late night game. We were on I forgot what channel we were on, but everybody can watch that game.
NBC.
Yeah, give me that. Don't give me
prime time.
So boring to watch.
Not to mention, I know it was on NBC and everything, and I know we're already 2 weeks past the Colorado game. We need to move the hell on from it, but damn it was so fun and nice and wonderful to just witness. But why? Why the hell, of all people, do you give Colt McCoy his first commentating job in a prime time game like that?
You can pick me up right now. I'll do a way better job than him.
Dude, you absolutely could have. I think my cat could have done a better job. Like it was like watching Win Ben Stein's Money. Yeah. It was like listening to Ben Stein. There's no enthusiasm in his voice. It's monotone. He's tripping over what he's talking about. Yeah. It's just, oh my God, if this guy was seriously like that on the field and I was his team, I'd be like, do you even care about what you're doing?
Like a timid type of guy. I think Colt was around during my time, but he's just that guy. That's his way. I think they need those networks do more of a polished type of guy. And Colt McCoy, he's as vanilla as you can get. Throw him in there. I would have much rather had people like Desmond Howard and stuff like that and those guys, but
Tim Brando or Tom Brando, whichever one it is.
Just give me Shaq and Charles Barkley. That's all. That's all I want for college football.
That would be the ultimate.
Yeah.
I would listen to that no matter what.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care how stupid it sounds. I wouldn't care if they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. But to hear those two go back and forth.
Put Shaq, put Shannon Sharp in there.
Oh, God.
Charles Barkley. And what's the main guy from TNT there?
The dude with the glasses?
Yeah. Ernie.
The one that, yeah.
You got millions of viewers. You put Shannon Sharp in there with those three, it's over. That's the greatest show ever.
Dude, the bloopers you can look up on YouTube of how Barkley either misspeaks or, he says something that just sounds like a complete 100% euphemism, but is not how he meant it. And when Shaq catches those, he does not let it go.
Yeah,
and it is some of the greatest banter. It's the only reason to watch that.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's over now, right? They're done for.
I don't know. I have no clue. I'm not an NBA fan, so it's not like I ever watched it. But when I caught those bloopers or those clips that were just cut out, I've never laughed so hard in my life. I laughed harder at what Barkley says than his golf swing.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen a golf swing so terrible in my life. Never seen anybody like triple cock to hit the ball. I've never.
I don't know what he's doing, but whatever. It's his life. He's having a good old time. That's for sure.
He is. It's Barkley, dude. He's a different dude. All right. So, like I said, Purdue's looking at 1-3 right, or 1-2, something like that right now. And if you would have gone by just their first game, this would have been a game to worry about. To me, it's still a game to worry about, though. We cannot take anybody lightly. No. If you go by that first game, I don't know how bad Indiana State is. I did not look up their record. But if you get a quarterback that can go 24 of 25, he obviously has the skills to find open receivers, to make his progressions, go through his progressions, make the reads. I think it's going to come down to we're going to need to get pressure. And what bothers me about games like this, when you need to get pressure in 11 a.m. games, sometimes it takes a moment for that defense to kind of wake up a little.
Warm up for sure.
I hate 11 a.m. games.
That's what we get, though. If we're not going to win games, then they're going to put us in that slot.
Exactly. We've had 2 primetime games already out of 4 night games in Lincoln. I mean, that's because of the buzz going on.
Yeah.
And they're rightfully so should be buzz in Lincoln. Yeah. I mean, Pat McAfee talks about us all the time. I love that guy. Yep. He loves Rule. He loves everything he's doing here. Joel Klatt talks about us a lot. Urban Meyer giving Rule and the team props. People know what's coming. Even Kirk Herbstreit knows.
Yeah. Just give it some time.
Yeah. We're going to get there. So
I think we beat Purdue, though.
That's great segue. Are you like reading my mind today, Dan? What is going on, dude? Because I was literally just going to ask if you could give, 2 or 3 keys to victory for this game.
Like you said, defensive getting pressure and scoring more than punting. That's it. Good. I want push from the offensive line, and I want that wide receiver play. Like I said, I love that wide receiver play. I think they are exciting to watch.
Very.
That catch in the end zone where he drug his feet when threw up the prayer. I was like, these kids are legit. I'm having fun watching these guys. When we played, it's like receivers. We had Wilson Thomas and a couple other guys. They were great receivers, but you're just not going to get the ball thrown to you all the time. These guys, we have Raiola back there. As long as we're protecting him and giving him pressure, and giving him protection, we'll get it in the hands of the receivers. Now, if they start throwing in packages that are sending other dudes and we're breaking down, we're going to start having problems. But I think the line play has been a lot better than the last couple of years. The efforts there, like I spoke of earlier, there's a lot more urgency to protect your quarterback because I'm pretty sure in the O-line meetings, like, hey, if he gets hit and he gets hurt, you're out. Back of the line. Third string, go ahead and put that scout team jersey on and do that. But so is that left tackle
Turner Corcoran?
Who's the guy who replaced him? I forgot his name.
If I'm not mistaken, I haven't looked into it, but what I had heard first was the guy backing him up is a redshirt freshman. So they might have to kind of rearrange some things.
All right, give him the shot. I got the shot.
Prohaska last year, or maybe the year before, when he came in to replace somebody else that got injured.
Yeah.
He almost made the line better.
Yeah. He was very energetic.
But I imagine he's another one that's like 6'7", 6'8", something like that.
Yeah, they're like when they walk by me, I'm 6'5", and they're just much taller than me.
You said that about Ben Hart. You said you felt like tiny next to Ben Hart.
Yeah, like I was like, ain't no way this guy's that big. Kind of remind me of like Bryant McKinney, like the left tackle.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got to agree with you as far as keys go. Defensively, have to get more pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Period. We saw what can happen if we don't against Illinois.
Yep.
We're gonna have to get pressure on them. Secondary, they've got to lock down receivers.
Yeah.
Period. There should be none of the shit like we had last weekend where their receivers are just sitting in the soft pocket of that zone and just waiting. And we're waiting for them to catch it before we react.
I can't even breathe. But like I said, Altmaier is a very good quarterback.
Yes.
I could probably sit in the pocket and he can get it to me.
I'd take it.
Yeah.
Like, all right. I'm over here.
Speaking of another key, it's like, can we keep scoring in the second half? That's my problem. I was like, you can't just come out and stack up. What do we put up on Colorado? 28?
28 in that first half.
And then not score. Why do we this would have been the greatest moment to bury Shedeur Sanders. And then we're just not finishing out. For the second half, we get some stops, or we get the ball, and then you march down the field, you score, and say, hey, we're still here. If we can get that, Purdue's done. If we stall out in the second half like we've been doing, that's what I've been seeing, then we're gonna have a problem. It's still Big Ten play. So you play every game, you play your heart out. This is, where you rank in the conference. And Purdue has been known to, ruffle some feathers and cause problems for people's rankings. So
they've been a thorn in our damn side for the last 4 years.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying they've won the last 4 years, but I think we may have split the last 4 years.
So is Altmaier. He's been a thorn in our side too. He's like, man, let's go to the NFL already.
He's continuing to be one. He got the last laugh. Asshole. Kind of how I feel. All right. Okay. So my three for the defense, obviously, I mean, they're kind of obvious. It's kind of what you would say for almost every game for a defense. It's pressure, locking down their receivers, not letting them get loose, not letting them sit in the soft spots of the zone, and winning that turnover battle.
Yep.
They've done a great job of it so far all season. They even won the turnover battle against Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can just continue to do that, defense would be all right.
Yep.
Offensively, I agree with you as well. Offensive line has to be given Raiola protection. No ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Yeah.
This game, I want to see them establish the run right away. That was something they really struggled to do against Illinois. We ended up with, I think, just over 50 yards rushing, but granted, Raiola had negative 52 yards because of the sacks.
Yeah.
So that took a lot away. Dowdell actually had rushed for something in the 70s in yardage. So it was kind of misleading as far as stats go. But I was at the game, watching it, every single play. I'm telling you right now, we were struggling to run the ball.
Yeah.
We have to establish the run game. As soon as we do that, that's when Raiola can settle down. And I mean really settle down.
Yeah. He's dangerous on the run, too. I was impressed.
And he's not one to run.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about his IQ at 19 years old. To know, we've seen the last 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the past have 10, 15 yards of nothing but greenery in front of them and still just stand there in the pocket and end up taking a sack.
I did like Harburg, though.
Loved Harburg, and I love little wrinkles they've got for him.
Yeah. I'm glad he's still there. I'm glad he's still pushing through. I think he can be a great asset somewhere. They'll have fun with him for sure.
And they have been. I like how they've used him in certain packages, bringing him in on certain play calls. Granted, the one they ran against Illinois, that almost blew up in our damn face.
Yeah, that was close, but it worked.
It did. It got us the first down. I think it was a solid 12 or 15-yard gain. But, Raiola definitely wanted that long ball on that.
Yeah.
He wanted to go deep on it. That's one thing I hope Raiola gets a little bit smarter on. Just maybe dial back on trying to take that shot that many times.
They should run the old 41 flash reverse pass with Harburg.
The option pass with Harburg worked last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Beautifully, too.
I forgot about the option. I haven't seen it much lately.
Are you kidding me? When the fans actually see it happen in Lincoln, they get even more loud because it's just like that trip back to the old days, you know?
Yeah, those were the
It's
days.
God, we remember that. We know how it felt. So yeah, that's where I'll give my keys to victory as far as offense goes. It's definitely going to be protecting Raiola, and I'm putting this all on the offensive line. Period.
Yeah.
Our key to victory offensively is the offensive line, keeping Raiola standing up, opening holes for that line, putting defensive players on their backs, and I mean, if you've got two defenders there, you put them both on their asses.
Play bully ball. Play it right.
I like that bully ball.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was the culture. Take a couple cheap shots from the restaurant looking.
Well, hey, no. With Big Ten refs, do it while they're looking. They won't throw the flag. We found that out last week.
Yeah. Well, they'll throw it against Nebraska.
Yeah, against us, we'll get it.
But I think some kind of digging deep and just Coach Tennifer would always say, get after him like a bite and sow. I did not know what that was when I first got there. And I was like, and you know me, a city boy from Los Angeles, like, what is this man talking about? Like, what is Coach Tennifer on right now? Like,
are these words?
Yeah, it's like, what is a sow? That's how. And then people are like, oh well, when a female pig, feels threatened, they'll come and bite you. I'm like, can we say tiger, or it's just a Midwest thing I didn't understand? But it has to be a switch with that line, and we saw it back, where they're just eating dudes alive. Like when that Penn State year, when they came to us my senior year, we were up. We 16-play drive?
Yes.
I'll never forget that. And they were one of the guys were offended when I said after the game. I go, I knew this game was over after we ran 16 running plays in a row and you guys couldn't stop us.
That would be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
That's not a defense making you one-dimensional. That's you staying one-dimensional and saying, until you stop it, this is just what we're going to do.
Yeah. Like you got to have that taste and the desire to, like, if we're going to run the ball, we're going to be running dudes over. There was one play, Coach Cotton yelled at me for it. But the tackle that was on the guard, it was a double team to the backside linebacker. And this dude was in our face. I think it was Utah State.
Oh.
He was in our face, and he was a Samoan guy. He was talking to me in Samoan a little bit. I don't know Samoan very well. But I heard him, and I heard them laughing, and they were talking about how you should have came here to Utah State. I was like, bro, I don't like losing. You guys are losers. That's what I said. And then me and Jake, I had it out for the guy, and we absolutely double team buried him. Like we buried him when I hit him, and I went over the top. I'm like, yeah, I did a good play. Cotton yelled at me because guess who made the play? The backside linebacker.
Oh.
I was like, but we killed that guy.
Yeah. Okay. I get where you're coming from. Obviously, I used to play, and if somebody got under my skin, there was a target on them. The rest of the game.
And so for the rest of my time, anytime I had the backside linebacker, I was on him. Even in the backside where we were running away, and that backer was mine, I was in his face as much as possible. You just have to enjoy. It's like when you come up in the huddle and the quarterback's like, hey, he gives the play and it's a run play. You're just like, yes. I've been waiting to get this guy backside, or like we're gonna double team. Like I feel like sometimes we'll get in a mode where we're just walling people off.
Okay.
Instead of like getting upfield and driving dudes off the ball and getting to that backside linebacker so that the hole's a little bit long. I saw, like, you can see glimpses of it, but sometimes you'll see our guys, they'll catch a guy. It's like, man, hit him. Or like cut. I don't know the cut block rule anymore, so I wasn't really good at cut blocking. I actually hated throwing cut blocks because I was just like,
good.
I was like, what is this? But on the backside of an option, if you're not cutting that tackle down, they're getting through and they're penetrating. So I was like, wasn't the best at it.
That's all right, though.
Straight up, I loved it. Like, ISO plays and power plays and stuff like that. But I think it's just, you got to have that taste and that thirst and that drive to want to actually. The best thing is watching a defensive line not know what to do, watching the backers, harassing backers all night. That is the best feeling to watch those guys just be absolutely burnt out from playing us. That's where, like, I don't think they have ever had that taste. It's like blood in the water, right? It's like, oh yeah, we got these dudes. And so pushing guys around, taking shots at their ribs when the guard is standing up, and you gotta get back to work, right? If there's nobody in your gap or outside, you gotta turn back and get back to work, right? So catching people off guard, throwing like crazy hits on those guys when they're stood up against like the guards, backside plays where they're just standing around taking shots. We're 350, 360 pounds running at people and just hitting them, and we're just being bullies. We're having fun. But I think if they can just cultivate that a little bit more, they'll be good. Ben Hart will have a good senior year. It's all up to them, though. It's a different mindset. That culture obviously doesn't exist. A lot of other things are in play with like money and NIL. You have to want it, right? When I saw the Michigan offensive line against us last year, I was like, that's an old Nebraska line. They're just larger.
Oh, yeah.
But they were larger and more athletic. I was like, these guys are amazing. You should look at them and want to be them. Like my guys, when I grew up, my guys in offensive lineman was Orlando Pace. I wanted to be him. I wanted to play like him. So it was Orlando Pace. Bob Whitfield went to my high school. We played for Stanford and played for the Falcons, and he was blind in his left eye.
Oh, damn.
I'm trying to remember other players that I looked up to. Tony Baselli. So instead of like looking immediately into your bank account or looking at this, you're a line. You should be looking at the greats. That's just me. I don't know if they do that. You watch those guys. And you're like, man, Orlando Pace was an absolute monster. How do I be like him? How do I cultivate that effort and athleticism? What do I need to do? I had times where I had the trainer would come and teach me how to, kick back as a right tackle and stuff like that. You have to do extra. You can't just go home and sit in your penthouse suite, say we lost. It's like, well, this is embarrassing,
Well, before we get your score prediction for it, interesting fact about that Utah State game you're talking about. I was actually watching that game at I want to say it was like called the Starlight Lounge or something like that in Omaha across the street from Children's Hospital, because my wife and myself, our son had just been born like 2 days before. And he was born with gastroschisis, so that is where your intestines are on the outside of your body.
Gotcha.
The belly button doesn't quite form, and it just kind of. So he was in ICU for about a month at Children's, as it has to work its way back in on its own. It is the weirdest thing to see.
I know that.
That literally have his intestines strung up above him, so it can slowly let the body work its way back in. That's not like something they could just go and stuff back in, apparently. It was a crazy day. It was the most nerve-wracked I've ever been in my life. Only reason I would not want to relive that day is just because we didn't find out he had that until hours before my wife had to have a C-section.
Yeah.
We had no clue.
It's crazy how life is, right? I'm on the field playing football and you're dealing with that. And that's what you see is like, you think you're struggling, but you're not, because there's always somebody out there that is going through a rough time. Right. And what did Kobe say as a player? I never had that type of mindset of Kobe, but he said, why would I be out of a game when people come pay hundreds of dollars to come see me? I'm going to play. Right. And it just moves in as like our lives as athletes, we were babied. I mean, they're babied more now because of how money works, but we were still taken care of, right? We still live well within, certain, ranges of, scholarship checks and things like that. But
Fed well by the university.
fed well, taken care of, great facilities, great coaches, great, strength coaches, all those guys. And those guys went home to their wives and like, they're tired. Like, can you imagine dealing with people with bad attitudes in the gym all day? There's people there. I had the work attitude. Let's just get to work. Let's get this done because I'm tired.
That's exactly it.
I never really thought about that until like you hear how, lives are. It's like, man, you're just playing football, bro. That's all you're doing.
But hey, it was one of the scariest times of our lives. Obviously, one of the greatest times of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
He got through it and everything. God, he just turned 21 on September 3rd. Our daughter just turned 20 in August. So, I mean, we're truly blessed with what we got. We went through some turmoil, and it's funny that I incorporate and remember certain things of my life because of Husker football. It is, but trust me, that's not why I remember our son being born, because that was by far the scariest shit I've ever been through.
Well, perseverance is it's a big deal for me. I insist on it with my kids. When things get difficult, you can't quit because the world wants you to quit, right? Just give up. But we have too much on the line nowadays as parents, right?
Yes.
There's too many things on the line that we need to take care of. There's no quitting. So instill that in the kids now. I mean, these kids can just bounce if they want to and hit transfer portal.
UNLV quarterback, there's a prime example.
Yeah.
Now I get why he did it if what he said is true.
Yeah.
If they didn't hold up their end of the bargain, I'd be like, hey, screw you too. I'm out.
Well, I'll give you another story that's come to mind. It's like my grandfather died my junior year before the Troy State game.
Ooh.
That week. And I talked to Coach Solich. I talked to, I think Pat was her name. And I was like, I need to get down to the funeral. And he took care of me probably 12 years of my life. So he was really part of who I am now as a man. So when I was down there, I really considered, like, I think I need to transfer to a Florida team in order to take care of my grandmother because nobody's going to be there. So for a second, and it's not quitting, right? It's more like this is a family matter. But then I was
family first.
I was a junior, so I lost the current year, having to show up the next year. I really didn't want to play for a Florida team.
I don't blame you.
And then so I thought about it, and then it was a quick turnaround. I was at the funeral. The next day I was back to Nebraska on a Friday to play against Troy. So I didn't practice all week, came in Troy, and just kind of got over it real quick. It's like I made my commitment here. That year was my mind was messed up on that thing. And then it just so happened that we were 7-7. I was like, dude, it's been a rough year, man. And I'm glad things like Twitter and stuff weren't around during those times because I'm sure lots of things would have been said.
Oh, of course. I considering, we hadn't seen a 7-7 season in decades.
Yeah.
So, let's be very thankful there was really no social media at the time.
Seriously.
We might have did we have MySpace yet even?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think MySpace might have come around in like 06.
Yeah,
04,
05, somewhere around there.
Yeah. See, I was late to the party on that one. By the time I spent like a year on MySpace, Facebook was coming out. I'm like,
I didn't jump on Facebook till like 2013 or something like that.
Oh, good Lord. You really held out.
I just didn't want it.
I don't blame you, dude.
Now I need it to work, so it is what it is.
I only use it really for the podcast, so
right?
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I don't have to really dick with anybody on there. All right, so real quick, before we get out of here, good Lord, no matter how many more RecoN episodes I do, bro, this is going to be the longest one. I guarantee it.
I tell you, I can go on forever.
I know. That's why I like having you on.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to talk to you, dude.
Life is good.
One of the most laid back offensive lineman I think I've ever met in my life. I'll put Cody up there. I'll put Volk up there as well. Volk's an awesome dude to talk
we're
to.
kind of the same personality. And I think that's why I got a lot of love with the media when I was there. Sipple had a little Vili's viewpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got those things. I just like being in front of the media. And it was fun.
We'll have to get you to call in to the early break on 93.7 The Ticket one of these times, because Sipple's one of the ones that is one of the three that hosts that in the mornings.
Ooh.
I bet he would love to have you call in, dude.
I'm going to eat him up.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's Sipple, former special team coach Bill Bush.
Okay.
And God, off the top of my head, I forget the younger man's name. And he probably won't be happy about that. But they probably don't watch this anyway, so I'm okay. I'll be all right with that. Yeah, I could get a hold of Bill Bush, dude, get you two in contact with each other and get your butt on early break, dude. Sip would be tickled pink.
I love Sip. I think Sip was the first, I don't know. I feel like it was always fun to talk to that guy. I felt super excited. I didn't mind talking to the media. Chris Anderson, that dealt with the media when we were there, she handled it really well. And then you're coached on how to talk, right? And
yes.
So, I remember at the end of one game, we just won. I was high as a kite, signing stuff. I was like one of the last people off the field. And I had a special mouthpiece because I had a wire behind my teeth to keep my teeth straight. And my mouthpiece dropped, and one of the fans grabbed it and tried to walk away with it. I was like, yo, man, I need that. Right?
Gross.
Right? Nebraska fans. I love them.
Good Lord.
He grabs it and walks away with it. I was like, yo, man, that's special made. If you see me, I'm one of the few guys during the seasons that had the red and white mouthpiece.
The one side red, one side white?
Yeah, and then the rest of the people had just the red ones.
Yep, I remember that.
And then the defense had the black and red.
Yes, they did.
But I had special thing. Mine had to get a special mold because of the wire behind my teeth. So I always had the red and white one. And so it looked different from everybody else. And it always made me feel special. I was like, yeah, this is cool. Chris Anderson, I guess, what would you call her? Media,
PR director?
PR person.
There we go.
He saw it immediately because I was starting to escalate it. And I turned and she just so happened to be there. I go, hey, can you get this for me? Right? And she was like, you got to give it back to him. He gave it back to me, but I thought it was the most bizarre thing to somebody to grab my mouthpiece and start it didn't even hit the ground. It was on the way to the ground and the man was already bending down for it. I was like, this is nuts. I get it. Husker fanatics. I love it. I love that you love us so much that's that. But I needed that mouthpiece. So
we're psychos, dude. I'm sorry. All right, real quick. All right, so we've given what we could think of as far as what would be the best for keys to victory. Let's hear your score prediction, Dan.
35-21.
I like that. That's right about what Oregon State was.
Yeah, I think we put enough points up. I think we put some extra. I think we come out strong. We put points up, and then we keep putting points up in the second half. Maybe that's more of a that's what I want to see. But I think with the fact that the quarterback is very accurate, we're going to get some plays where they're going to get some big plays and they're going to score. That's fine. But I like 35 because I think we're coming off a game where we should have a better taste in our mouth and we should be getting after it. It's still Big 12 play, Purdue's playing us.
Big 10. Big 10.
Yeah.
Not Big 12.
My bad. Purdue's playing
Big 12 guy.
We're in Nebraska. You should be scared that we're coming in town. You should be worried that we're coming and that there's a lot of hype behind us. And then I think Dylan has a great game as he used. I mean, his dad's Dom. He stays poised, and then we'll know when we see the offensive line play in the beginning. We'll know how the game's going to go. And if I saw a couple of plays in the beginning of the Illinois game that had me worried.
I was saying the same thing in the stands.
I was like, I texted Carson and Cody, and I was like, "You guys see that?" They're like, "Yep." All right. Okay. It's gonna be a long night.
Shit.
I knew it. I knew. I was like, "Come on now." And so, if I can see an effective line making holes, pushing people, we're getting good push up front, and letting the running backs, play the way they've been playing, and then just the receivers, if they keep playing the way they do, we'll win that game. I don't think we lose that game at all. Maybe like at 1 out of 30 games they'll win the way we're rolling. I think we still win that game, even if it's at Purdue. Who cares? It's Purdue.
Yep.
What? It's Purdue.
Yeah, we call them don't, for God's sake.
You walk over them and you get ready for the next game. That's it.
Yes.
That's like going to play Kansas and Lawrence when we were there. It's like, okay,
Thank you.
It might be close, but we're going to win this game.
Yes. It was one of those that you could look at the beginning of the season at the schedule and be like, all right, W.
Yeah. This schedule is actually, it benefits the Huskers.
It's favorable.
It does. When I look at schedules like that, I was like, this can put us in a really good position as long as we win where we're supposed to win.
Yes.
Now, we were supposed to beat Illinois. Okay. Learn from it, move forward. I look at it, how favorable our national championship run season was.
Yes.
That was a good season for us. We had home games with all the big teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was smart scheduling.
Yeah. This is very favorable for Raiola and the team, and I think we won the game. I think we can put up 35. I mean, we got to be better than Notre Dame.
Some people don't think so, but in my opinion,
they're always overhyped.
Thank you, for God's sake.
Stop it.
How many times have they even made the national title game? I think they've made the playoffs once.
They played Bama in the national title last time, and they got plastered.
Is that when they had what's his name at linebacker? Yes. Mr. Catfish himself.
Yeah.
That poor kid, dude.
I always think they're overhyped.
Every year.
They were hyped. They hyped them up when we were playing against them.
I know.
I was like, ain't no way they're coming to Lincoln to win this.
And that's when they had Arnaz Battle at quarterback, right?
Yeah, and they had that. I forgot that defensive end. That dude.
Was he good?
What was his name?
Oh, God, I wouldn't even be able to remember.
Anthony Weaver.
Wouldn't even have pulled that out of my ass.
He played for the Ravens. And then the defensive ends were huge and strong. That's probably one of, like, strength-wise, that those guys were good. But it didn't last in Nebraska. I was like, these guys ain't coming here to beat us.
Hell no.
I was having so much fun. Real quick story. My cousin's a huge Notre Dame fan. He calls me from Los Angeles. He goes, "Hey, Dan, can I get tickets?" I go, "Yeah, of course. Nobody comes out to watch me." So he drives from LA to Lincoln, and I'm getting ready for the game. I look up in the stands, and you know where the team, he's wearing a green shirt. He's wearing a Notre Dame shirt where the players' tickets are. I look at him, and he goes, "I was being harassed for the first half." I go, "That's what you get." And then he finally told them that he was there for me, and they let off of him. But he said he was being harassed for the first half. I was like, "That's what you get."
Yeah. Jackass.
And then he got on SportsCenter that night when we were walking after the game, because that was game day, right? Game day was there.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, they were.
And so it was Lee Corso and them, and he got on there. He was in the background, like, jumping up and down. He goes, "This is the greatest time of my life." I go, "Good for you."
And it had to happen in Nebraska.
Yeah.
I love it.
To be honest, like, if I look at my life and you look at the teams I wanted to play for in the past, nothing comes close to Nebraska. No fan base comes close to Nebraska. There's nothing that comes close to what happens here, or happens up in Lincoln. It's non-existent to me everywhere else, especially when you come from wanting to be a Pac-12 player or Pac-10 back in the days.
Yeah.
And they only fill up stadiums if they're winning.
Exactly.
Yeah, UCLA games you can get
Oh
seats
God,
for like $5.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's got to be the same way with USC some years too, especially after their championship run was done.
No, they still weren't. They still weren't filling out the stadium. We went to a game where it was Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and it was Aaron Rodgers and Marshawn Lynch.
Is that with Cal?
Yeah, that was the game in Los Angeles, and it
Wow.
still wasn't packed.
What the hell?
I know it's the Coliseum; it's large, but no.
Still, Michigan has over 100,000 people, and they sell out almost all their games as well.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't get it.
No, there's too much to do in Los Angeles.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that as an excuse anymore.
I mean, the beach.
Don't rub it in, Dan.
The Lakers games.
Sitting like next to Jack Nicholson at a Lakers game.
Stuff like that. It's different, man. It's a different vibe.
All right, so we got your score prediction. As most people know, we do not do that on here anymore as far as personally, because we started sounding very stupid over the last couple of years. And I got sick and tired of it. I just like to predict a W, but I'm going to do something I have not done since the 2009 season, right before we played Arizona in the Holiday Bowl. I got on, and this is how long ago that was. I believe it was in the infancy of Facebook. I got on there and I made a post, and this was right after that Big 12 game that we lost to Texas. I said, these boys are going to come out pissed off in the bowl game, and I am predicting a shutout. And by God, they did.
Yep.
So guess what? In honor of that little prediction, and I have not done it since, because our black shirts have been so close a couple games of getting that.
Yep.
I'm saying we get the W. The black shirts finally get that goose egg and keep it up on that scoreboard. Black shirts are getting the shutout this week, and I'm calling it now.
I'm taking it. You know the story behind the scout team, what the scout team gets when we were there, if you got a shutout.
No.
You get like this giant like feast of foods. You get you get to eat all the good, like it wasn't like train table food, it was like catered from somewhere else. We got to eat food. And it was so cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's incentive.
Yeah, it was nice. And then we had the 99 defense, so we got it once or twice.
All right, man. Dan, dude, this has been a blast. I know when we talked about scheduling this and we talked about what we were going to do, I was like, yeah, we might go about a half hour. That'll be about it. Maybe 25 minutes. Dude, here we are, an hour and 18 minutes as far as recording time goes so far. So that's kick-ass, dude. And, I mean, we could keep going on for more hours for sure. It's a given. So, you know what? Let's go ahead. I think I'm going to let everybody, because I know how short attention spans are these days. So hopefully everybody watches this all the way through in one shot instead of breaking it up. But they got to watch it before the game. Otherwise, you watch it after. What's the point?
Yeah.
So hopefully they understand that.
Just to call us out on our predictions.
If nothing else.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear to God, if Purdue goes down and gets a field goal or a touchdown on their first drive, I'm going to be so pissed.
I'm going to text you immediately.
I hope you do, because I'm going to need to be called out on that one. I'll probably get called out a lot if that happens.
Yeah.
And that's all right.
That's all right.
I'm just saying they're going to be pissed off. All right?
They should be.
Exactly.
Stop losing to the Illinois Fighting Illini. Stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Fighting Illini. It doesn't even sound good.
No, I would, if we were playing Illinois when we were playing, I'd be like, who are these guys? Just like Northwestern, who are these guys? And they got smacked when they thought they could hang with us, though. That's the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, they thought back that year they thought they were all the bee's knees. I forgot the name of that running back.
I was just about to say I can't remember either, but I know he was having one hell of a season.
Yeah, but no, it just don't happen. Just refuse to lose, man. You're gonna take L's, but take L's to top ranked teams.
Yes.
I'll be if you fight tooth and nail and you lose to like a number 4 team, man, good. I want to see that. But that fight needs to be in every game. Every team needs to, like I said, and I talked to Tony Ortiz about this. It's like the culture's not there. It's like to wipe teams off the map and just come in there, absolutely disrupt their homecoming. It's homecoming, by the way. That's what I saw. Absolutely embarrass them in front of homecoming. Get on the plane, go back, put your head on the pillow, and say, "Man, we just did that." That's the way
it was fun.
Yeah, every game is. I don't think we ever doubted that we're going to lose. Even the bad 7-7 season is like, oh, we're not losing this game. We're not losing this game.
Kenny says that all the time.
No,
that was your guys' mentality. You expected to win.
So you're sick when you lose.
Exactly.
All right, we're bouncing. Let's get back to it. Right?
Losing wasn't even a thought for you guys. Even if the thought crept into your mind, it was so outrageous to think about that you could laugh it off.
I don't think it crept in our minds.
That's even better.
So as Husker players, you're surprised when you lose. You're like, what just happened? Right?
Yes. As a fan base, we're just as surprised. Well, I mean, not lately, but
like you talk to your friend, like you talk to the other players. I forgot who we were talking to. We ran into them in Best Buy after the Colorado game where they smoked us like 62-30 something.
2001.
I forgot who the defensive player, but we ran into him in Best Buy in Lincoln, and we were joking around. I go, "Yeah, thanks for losing the game for us." He goes, "No, thank you." And I go, "Well, Eric broke records.
Yeah, you guys put up points,
and you got records broke on you." A team that scores, what do we score? 36 points.
35 or 36, yeah.
A team that scores 36 points should win.
Yeah. Thank you.
By the way, that was an early morning game. It was like a 10 a.m. game.
Was it really?
I don't know why that was.
Ew.
And we were number 1.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah.
I also remember shattering that VHS as soon as that game was over. My dad used to tape every single game. Even if he was home to watch it, he would tape them so he could watch them over. That game did not make it but maybe 30 seconds coming out of the VCR. I ejected that thing, walked right out into the middle of the street we lived on, and I shattered it.
That running back, Bobby Purify. Man. I hope he's doing well. That's all I can say.
Sure, yeah. You can wish him well all you want.
That was our defense's fault.
Just
I couldn't do nothing. We had great players, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna get into that too because hell yeah, I'm making sure I get you back on this season for an actual episode.
After the UCLA game, for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about that one. All right, let's plan on that then.
Yep.
We'll have you on to recap the UCLA game this season.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, Dan, we'll go ahead and get her shut down. I'm sure they've heard enough of our bullshit for tonight. And all right, so where's everybody gonna find you on social media, my friend?
At Big Dan Waldrop on Instagram and Twitter. I'm not really strong on Twitter. It is what it is.
I have noticed you don't post on there too much anymore.
Man, life is different nowadays. It's
all right.
Not time to post. I wish I could. TikTok at Silverback Simone. That's probably where I spend most of my time.
See, we're not on there yet. We have not gotten bold enough to make the jump to TikTok.
You got other people on there. Throw it up. Cut this up and throw it on there. You'll have some fun there.
I don't know. It was one of those things where, as far as TikTok goes, I always looked at that as something my kids enjoyed. And I'm that older dad that was like, I'm not giving into this shit. There's no way I'm giving into this peer pressure.
Well, 44% of people on TikTok now use TikTok as a search engine. So,
Oh, damn.
yep.
All right, gonna have to talk to Brock, our producer, and start getting shit set up for TikTok. I'll just let them set it up for me.
Tell me and tag me because you're gonna have
Perfect.
fun. I promise you.
Damn it. Damn it, Dan.
TikTok's ahead of the trends. So if you see a trend on Instagram, TikTok's already had it. It's already been gone for 3 weeks. It's gone.
Wow.
So if you watch how it is, it's trending, and it's a really good platform to build. There's a lot of like Nebraska people on there that do well just by followers and stuff. It's fun. It really is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask Brock to start looking it up for us.
Yeah.
Damn it. I even think No Block No Rock might even be on there.
They're on there. I see them all the time. Why can't I see Husker Army Pod? Right?
Because I'm an old stubborn dumbass, I guess.
Well, they have AI that'll cut it up for you.
That's good because I like AI. It does all the thinking I don't want to do.
Yeah, and they'll put it in the format so you can just post. You can just schedule out your posts and you'll be good.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're
all right. Yep, I'm gonna have to give Brock an assignment.
Let's go, Brock.
Yep, Brock. I love Brock. He does great for us, man.
You can only follow one person on TikTok, and that's me. No, I'm just.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't give a damn.
But yeah, definitely. I look forward to seeing you guys' content on there. You'll have a lot of fun. I promise you. A lot of podcasts get a really good footing on there because you're so niched into your thing. So this is a Husker football thing. So all the Husker football fans will be in there following and stuff like that. And you can really do some fun things. I've seen some people where they do. This is a little tip. Like have a segment called Top 5, right? Top 5 Nebraska quarterbacks. You go, top 5 runs of sandwiches, stuff like that. And it just gets people's piqued interest and people respond to that. So you can have a segment where they're like, all right, who are your top 5 offensive linemen at Nebraska? And then go from there. So it's really fun. That type of content in your video, man. That's where video thrives.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Brock's gonna have to hop on that. Son of a bitch.
Go get your name. Have Brock get your name before somebody else does.
That's true too. That's one thing I was really glad to be able to do on both Twitter and Instagram was nobody really had Husker Army for anything. So I was able to just Husker Army Pod.
Yep.
No 1, no 2 after it, none of that crap. So I got pretty damn lucky on that one.
I interact with No Block, No Rock just because their content's on TikTok.
Dude, their content's good too.
Yeah. Yours is too.
I appreciate it, Dan.
You're right there, man. Like,
hey, we're trying.
They've invited me, but I've only been on yours. And I think because we've built a really good relationship. I don't really know those guys, so.
I can vouch for them. If you do ever go on there, you will enjoy yourself. They're a great group of guys to talk to, very knowledgeable. Yeah. So, there's like 4 or 5 of them, so you've got different perspectives from all over.
Yeah, they're much more analytical than I am.
Yeah, and they've definitely got some diverse opinions as well. Especially the guy that looks like Sami Zayn. I can never remember his name, but he looks just like Sami Zayn from WWE, in my opinion. They could damn near be twins.
Dude, that's crazy. They have asked me I should jump on, but like I said, it's like I started with you, so I'm always coming back to you. I enjoy it here.
If off the top of my head, if I could suggest 2 or 3 that you would absolutely enjoy, is obviously No Block, No Rock. Generation Red, they're a great one. It's a father and son Husker podcast, and Ken from Generation Red has by far the best setup studio in Husker podcasting. I do not care what anybody else has. It is top-notch setup. It looks like when Tom Osborne used to have his weekly Sunday night show to recap the nights before game. It looks almost like that. It is just amazing. So I would suggest them. And then the other one is probably the fastest rising Husker podcast out right now, and that's the BA Coaches Show. Ben Audi is definitely a dude to check out. He's been a high school coach. He's only 24 years old, but he has a great football mind, great football IQ. He does breakdown videos on his channel of plays, and he does just as good, in my opinion, with his video breakdowns as Chancellor Brewington does.
Gotcha. I told him when he was live the other day, I said, yo, man, I don't see a picture of me on the back of your wall, so you need to fix that. I was like, how do you have Eric Crouch without me?
That's right. I did see that you said that, dude. I started laughing.
I was like, that's peanut butter, no jam. Come on now.
But yes, if I could suggest just a few, you will absolutely enjoy hopping on any one of those.
Yeah, for sure. I think we've built a good relationship, so it's easy to just kind of come on. Like, you know me, you know my personality. I don't know those guys too well. Maybe Ben Audi, since it'll be one-on-one, because No Block, No Rock seems there's a lot going on right there.
There is.
Guys, I think they're great, and they I love watching. I forgot his name, but he goes live on TikTok while he watches the game.
Is he the one with the ginger beard and everything?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the guy that looks like Sami Zayn.
Yeah. So it's funny because I'll interact with him every once in a while, and then it's something like the team will be losing. You can just see his face, and he's just like disgusting.
That's why I could never do that on here. I would lose my shit.
But it's probably make for good video, though.
We'd probably lose our contract.
Don't do that.
That would be the problem. All right, so everybody, you know where to find Dan on social media. You know where to find us. You see it right there, at Husker Army Pod. You'll find us on Twitter, Instagram, and then you'll find us obviously on YouTube. That's the easiest part. Just Google Husker Army Podcast. It's one of the first, if not the first thing that'll pop up in that search. Yep. So you'll find us on YouTube. Like I said, go to YouTube, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. You'll know when the videos are out. If you happen to not catch the post that it's out, which I do for you, I'm that type of guy. I make it easy to find. So, audio-only platforms too. You know where to find those. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Prime Podcasts, whatever the hell that's called. There's a ton of pretty much any audio-only platform you'll find us on. So give us a follow on there as well. Leave us comments. Leave a rating. Let us know if we're doing great. Let us know if we're shitty. We'll take either way. We're fine with it. So very easy to find the show. And like I said, our merch at hurrdatsports.com. Check that out. Become enlisted into the Husker Army. Get yourself a nice little graphic, as we do for everybody that joins the show. Like I said, there you go, Dan. God, I love the hair. Love the hair, dude. All right, so we'll go ahead and shut her down. This has been the briefing. This has been RecoN. So I guess at this point, briefing's over. You can close your folders. It's time to go get some rest. The game is at 11 a.m. So, Husker Army, you got to get your rest.
Yep.
You got plenty of RecoN. We gave you, holy hell, like at over an hour more of RecoN than we gave you last week. I'd say you got plenty. It's been a great briefing. That's for damn sure. You've gotten RecoN, you've got briefing, and more. You couldn't have asked for more in this. And if you do, you're just being selfish. That's all I can say. So, we'll go ahead and shut her down, and we'll give you the send-off we always give you as if it's just a normal episode. So, Husker Army, you know what to do. At ease. And you were all dismissed.